Good morning, all. Good morning to our sisters from Asia, and good evening to our sister from the other side of the globe, our colleagues from FIMI. We hope all our sisters have joined, all the participants. So welcome to today's induction session, and thank you once again for your availability and joining today's induction. So I think we can start. My name is Alma Grace Barla, and I'm from India. I'm technical support team for the Asia region. So before we begin the session, I would like to brief some of the technical announcements. So I hope you have renamed yourself and the name of the organization within the bracket. Please keep yourself muted when you are not speaking. And also keep your video on if it is possible. You can also introduce yourself with name, organization, and country in the chat box. And please raise your hands if you have any questions or queries. You can also put your questions or queries or any comments in the chat box. We have interpretation available in Bangla, Khmer, and Nepali. So those who need, you can click the globe icon and select your language. In case you are not able to do it, you can put it a message in the chat box so we can guide you. Please also slowly speak when you have any questions or queries, because we have simultaneous interpretation in languages. The meeting will be recorded for the purpose of note taking for our team. And also we would like to take few photographs for the purpose of the documentation. If any one of us have any concern, kindly let us know. In case you log out in between, please join again with the same link. So we hope that you have seen your emails and the agenda we have shared prior to the meeting. So today's meeting is 2.5 hours. We hope to complete on time. Have our sisters from Sisterhood Network, do they have they joined? Sister Arjun? Sister Arjunla and team, we would like to request you to perform the ritual.
Alma, I don't see them.
Yeah, I think they may have some technical issue, I think. So we can go ahead with our agenda. Maybe we can close our eyes for a second and we remember our creator, our ancestors. We thank them for the blessings for our existence today. And also we seek their blessing to on all of us so that we have this induction session fruitful, and also we seek their blessing to carry forward our mission, our work, wherever we are. Also, we send our warm wishes to each one of us spiritually and strengthen ourselves. With this small note of blessing from our ancestors and Creator, we begin today's induction. Thank you once again all, and welcome to today's session. So first of all, I would like to invite Shushila, our MNE coordinator from the INI Fund, to brief the agenda and also set the context of today's session. Shushila, the floor is yours.
Um, Thank you, Alma. So, namaste, good morning, good afternoon, hola. Very happy to have you all today. This is the very first joint meeting we are having with all of our partners. And today we have 10 partners from 4 countries. Then right now we have like mixed partners. We have partners from LFS, and we also do have partner from Seeds Direct Call. So what is the Seed Direct Call? We will be discussing that a little bit later. I will be sharing that. So having said that, I will welcome you all in this platform. So in this regards, all of us who are present here are already FEMI's partners. So I hope FEMI is not very new to you. Having said that, as some of the sisters might be new, that's why I just will take a couple of minutes to brief about FEMI. FEMI is a global mechanism which envisions a world free of all forms of discrimination, where Indigenous women are empowered and they realize their individual and collective human rights and well-being. So FEMI is guided by its theory of change and strategic plan. FEMI actually is founded within the framework of Fourth World Conference on Indigenous Women, Fourth World Conference on Women, which happened in Beijing, 1995. So this is a mechanism, global mechanism that brings collective leadership of Indigenous women, human rights leaders, activists from all around the world, whether it is Asia, America, Africa, Pacific, and Arctic. So it has twin goal or twin objective. So it builds and strengthens the unity and develop the leadership capacity of Indigenous women. Secondly, it promotes the individual and collective rights of Indigenous women, as I mentioned in 5 socio-cultural reasons, which is Africa, Americas, Arctic, Asia, and the Pacific. Overall program is like categorized in 4 different programs. Having said that, we do also have the cross-cutting, but I will just focus on more on the programs we have, where we have this program to achieve the goal, the vision we have envisioned together with you all. The first one is the political participation and advocacy, which engages our Indigenous women in different global regional platforms for our lobby and advocacy. Second one is the Global Leadership School. I hope like I imagine some of you have been part of this as a resource person, as a participant. So this brings different um, different aspect of the leadership, bringing sisters from all over the world to build their capacities as a leader. So third one is research, which focuses on different issue that matters to our lives, and also in the issue of climate change and violence against indigenous women. So fourthly, last but not the least, is Indigenous Women Fund, which is INI Fund. This is a philanthropic arm of FEMI, and here we all are the partners of INI Fund. Of course, as we work very interconnectedly with other programs, of course, you might also be the partner of other programs here. So INI is a Quechua word, which means synthesizing the collaboration within the community, reciprocity, equality, and justice from the indigenous worldview that goes beyond the limits in time and human, including in the way of solidarity work, the spirituality, nature, and all the element of the cosmos. So this is the fund which is managed by indigenous women, and it is for indigenous women. So within INI, we have 3 grant mechanisms. As I briefly mentioned earlier about seeds, about LFS. So seeds is initial fund pioneered by FEMI to support our indigenous women, technically and financially for their initiative to raise the voice. So it has been more than a decade that we have started this seed. So after that, we have also Leading from the South, and we have also partner from Leading from the South here. And third mechanism we do have is the Indigenous People Assistance Facility, which is IPAF. So this is particularly for Latin America. Having said that, we cover all the countries around the globe, but IPAF is only dedicated to Latin American country. So here, right now, we are in a harmonization process. Earlier, we used to have a direct, different way of communications, but now we do have Asia team. So in Asia, as Alma mentioned, I play the role of I play the role of M&E coordinator. M&E is monitoring, evaluation, and learning coordinator for the INI Fund. So this role brings me at a global level to support our partners on MEL, and also within FEMI INI Fund as a MEL. And I also lead the Asia team. So I am based in Nepal. So from Nepal, we support all of you. So what does this, earlier I mentioned about direct call. So with this grant mechanism, we have 3 ways of grant making. One is open call, second one is direct call, and third is regranting. Open call is a very competitive one where this is open for all the organization across the globe, which is Indigenous women organization and Indigenous women-led organization, because as I mentioned earlier, this grants is INI Fund is only for Indigenous women's organization or led organization, Indigenous women led organization. So this open call is competitive and open for everyone. Direct call is only directed to the Indigenous women and Indigenous women-led organization by direct invitation via email. So the partners who are right now here with in this induction are from open call, and the sisters who are here from seeds very recently are from the direct call, who have proven their expertise, their impacts in movement building. So this is via direct call, but we do have some partners who are new as well via direct call, because it comes the urgency of the issue in the reason, and that is recommended by different other programs. So regranting is a mechanism where we have one organization who is also in the pathway of being a women fund, Indigenous women fund, and they support the grassroots organization. So this is the way the FEMI supports the organization, and the organization supports the grassroots organization. So this is like 3 ways of grant making in INE. Having said that, most of us are from direct call today, and this is the very first platform we are meeting together. And this platform, I just want to emphasize that some of us have already started reporting. That's why, we have mixed participants where some of us are very new in this initiatives, partnership initiatives, and some have already presented their report. So having said that, this is kind of reinforcing to strengthen our relationship with FEMI INI Fund, with FEMI, and among our partners as well. And we also expect to orient FEMI's working approach, systems and compliances related to the partnership and project implementation, who already have, this is like orientation to new sisters, but this is refresher for you who have been partnering with us from past past years. So we will also briefly share you the overview of different tools and templates. As I mentioned that we are in a harmonization process, so the tool and templates you have been working might be different than what we will be sharing today. Now onward, we will, as there will be no mechanisms in the future, because we will have one harmonized call. So these are tools we will use universally in INI Fund. So having said how we have organized this agenda today, so we have already started our introduction. Please mention your name, country, and organization in a chat, and if also your your indigenous community that you belong to. For example, I belong to Magar community, so I am Sushila. I am from FEMI, I belong to Magar community, and I'm based in Nepal. So in this sense, please put your introduction in the chat box so that our sisters, brothers who are here in this induction meeting will know you better. Also, please rename yourself. So in a brief, name and organization, that will help us to know who we are from, we are and which organization we belong to. So this is our introductory session. And second one, we will we have shared you the agenda, but in agenda, monitoring and evaluation is the third session. However, due to some technical difficulties, we will go to monitoring and evaluation and program compliance as a second session. Then it will admin and finance and compliance will follow after that. Then we will close the program. So we are expecting to close program at 10:30 Thailand time. With this, I welcome you all again in this induction meeting. Hope this induction meeting will like strengthen our relationship. If you have any queries or any comments, please put it in a chat box, or there will be a discussion forum after every like session. Then there will be opportunity to discuss with each other. Having said that, we have shared you all the documents. Firstly, I would like to remind you, please replace the like the financial reporting template and guide that I sent in the first email with the ones which I send later, which is the final updated version. There is not much like difference, but still we would like to request you to look into the second version that I shared. Hopefully you have gone through all those templates, so that with your experience from the past and your review of those templates, we will be looking forward for your active participation, your questions, your queries or inputs to those documents, so that we will have lively and active interaction in this session. So looking forward for active, interactive and learning oriented interaction. We are looking forward learning from you all as well. So once again, welcome you all for today's session. We hope this will be very fruitful for you all too. Thank you. Alma, over to you.
Yeah. Thank you, Shushila. Thank you for briefing about FIMI, who we are, our work, and also briefing the agenda. I think this explanation has given us a background and also refresh ourselves to begin today's session or go ahead with this today's session. There is a slight change in our agenda, as the next session would have been by the admin team. Due to some reason, this small change we have made. So the next session will be monitoring and evaluation presentation by Shushila. After that, we will have a presentation from our admin team. So Shushila, once again, it is over to you. Shushila?
Thank you, Alma. Again, Sushila here. Yeah, before going to this one, I would like to, because we have partners who have already, already started reporting. So we would like to hear from their experience. So as I mentioned that my role is like male coordinator. I support you, I accompany you from male perspective, but very closely with all other issues in Asia, together with Alma and Maya. So with this, I would like to ask, because we have two partners, which is Progressive from Bangladesh and Rural Women Upliftment Society from India, Northeast India. What were their key reference document when they prepared the interim report? Anyone would like to mention?
I don't know. Good morning. Good morning, Susila.
Good morning.
Yeah, we can hear you. Please go ahead.
With regards to experience, and also what our references for the reporting, right? That was the question. For Rural Women Upliftment Society, we have been implementing INI project for two rounds, and this is our third round. And so the project report, its format, there is nothing much new. But this time with Maya, Susila, Alma, all of you are there. It become a little comprehensive in the sense that it's improving. What we refer is mainly the project proposal that we had is number one, because I often tell my other colleagues that if you are a project coordinator, you have to learn by heart the project proposal, because without that we cannot start the work, and also it depends on the quality of reporting. So one is the project proposal, and number two is also we have also a baseline questionnaire. So another one is what our basis for developing a report is also the baseline that we did in the beginning of the year. And another is field report and other interviews and testimonies, or for record of workshops, meetings, trainings, proceedings of some programs that we do during the reporting period. Those are, and also photographs, and if we have videos, or if we have video clips or media linked, those are some of the things that we refer while writing a project proposal. I don't know if that is enough. That's all I can say at the moment. This is also, yeah, this is also, I am talking more on the narrative part, not the financial part, but the financial part is also kind of similar. Our basis is always with the project proposal.
Okay, thank you, Marybeth. Thank you, Marybeth. As Marybeth mentioned, like in monitoring, evaluation, and program compliance, we have our few documents, which is the reference document, baseline documents, and our guiding document for whole project implementation. Having said that, from M&E perspective and also programmatic perspective, we have heard that, like, this is any project, like I will share this one example where we say that, okay, this is FIMI project. I will request you all, please think about whether it is FIMI project or your project, because ownership, because the ownership matters. And these initiatives are your idea. You have if you see the proposal there, we mention about your contribution, no? But most of our sisters do not consider their contribution. We have, like, there is a universe, you are working in a universe, and INA is only one of the catalysts to, like, to smoothen your movement. So this is our joint, this is your organizational dream that we are supporting to achieve. So this is partnership. Please consider this one. That is the first thing I would like to mention. So as Meredith mentioned, so when we talk about the MEL compliance, we do have our project documents. So these project documents entails our, like, proposal, both financial proposal and project proposal, And under this project proposal, as I am talking more from narrative technical perspective, so the log frame, activity implementation plan, and M&E plan are some of the key components that we have to follow. Like, and second one is the memorandum of understanding and related policy and guideline, which we all have. And then the templates we provide, which is narrative and financial report templates. So how, what are the key accountability that we have to provide? There are many, but we just want to highlight two for now. So one is like intermediate narrative report and final narrative report. You have received both of them. The interim narrative reports, like if we talk about the covering period, it is from MOU signing date till mid of the project period. And submission time is 1 month or 30 days after the mid of the project. And please use the prescribed intermediate narrative reporting template, and all the annexes, it has to be completed. And in final narrative report, covering period is midterm project period till project completion. And it also has 30 days after the project ends, and using the prescribed format is must with all the annexes. Having said that, there are some organizations. For example, we have here the Maji Mahila Uthan Samiti from Nepal, who has only obligation or accountability to report final narrative report only. They will not submit the interim narrative report. Why? Because their period is very short and they have only one disbursement. So if you feel whether you need to have present two reports or one, it depends on your MOU. So whether your MOU has mentioned only one report or two reports. So please refer to MOU and check the reporting needs for your organization. Secondly, like in MEL, please make sure that we implement all our initiatives, all our reporting timely manner. You are in a direct call because in the past, this was very effective from your end. That is one of the criteria for the direct call. So in this regard, we are very happy that, and we expect the same enthusiasm, same collaboration, same energy will be there in our partnership. So secondly is like, as I mentioned, it has to be according to the format and guidelines. And it depends upon the approval of intermediate narrative report and final report is must. And it has to be guided by project documents. And as I mentioned, 3 documents earlier. So, and within the project document, log frame, project implementation plan, and M&E plan is very important. And any change of the activities must have written approval. No fund shall be used for any political agenda, and no activity shall be implemented beyond the agreed activities. If there are any changes need to happen, please reach us out for written approval. So having said that, when we are talking about the reporting period, please make sure that if you have already implemented 80% of your activities and budget, you should report immediately. Need not to wait till mid of the project or end of the project, because once we have 80% of the project implementation, budget expenditure for midterm, if we can receive it early so that we can process for approval early, review and approval early. Please make a note that please don't wait till end, because we have been struggling with this at the end. If we don't have approval, we cannot release the second installment. That will hinder us for the second installment. And if it is like final narrative report, you have to have 100% expenditure. And please, and don't wait till end, because if there is like approval of the project, there is chances that we will have another level, another opportunity for our collaboration. So with this, there are a couple of tools that we want to discuss, but due to interest of time, I will very briefly go through the interim report only. We have two template, interim and final, but that is basically the same. There are only very few differences, so that we can provide you in a accompaniment. Even in the reporting period, please reach us out. We will support you. We will accompany you in whole this process. So let me go through the interim report template. How much time I have, Alma? Please remind me of time if I go beyond my time limit. We need more time for admin and finance. And also we need time for discussion. So please remind me.
You have another 40 minutes.
40, okay. Great. But yeah, 40 minutes is like, let me take quickly through this narrative report. This is an interim narrative report. Some of us have already like started filling up, but let me run through this briefly. So in the section 1, I will highlight in the section where we need to re-emphasize or we have common issues in this section. So rest I will skip. So in terms of like name or name of organization, as this report sometimes has to be independent, so please put your organization name, not fiscal host. And it has to be both in full form and in abbreviation. For example, Bangladesh Indigenous Women's Network is BIWN. So we should have both of the name. Having said that, this also sometimes depends upon the country context. If there is like legal hurdles, which will have some implication, please reach us out to clarify these things, because Asia region is very complex. So, and regarding the project title, please put the exact title. And if you use abbreviation, you can also put the abbreviation, but we need a full form of the exact title. So reporting period, as I mentioned, it can be starting from mid to end, or depending upon your expenditure, it can be like, a little bit later or earlier than the midpoint. Having said that, please note that the technical and financial report should have same reporting period. If it starts from January to June, and your reporting period is January to March, both technical and financial reports should have January to March as a reporting period. And all the activities and financial, transactions should account within this period. So in section 2 here, I mean, we have received very well written section, but I just wanted to reiterate on this 2.1, especially this is like the context where external environment, this 2.1 is talking about the external environment that influences our project activities or organizational activities. So that can be global, regional, or national or local. And this is something which is external that our organization doesn't have influence on, but it has impact on our organization and the project implementation. So we request to highlight what are these, these elements. Is it social, political, environmental, policy, or any other organizational changes? So that has affected us, or it can be also future prediction if they will affect us and how. For example, let me give you an example. For example, right now, very recently, last year in October, we have like CEDAW General Recommendation 39 on rights of indigenous women and girls was adopted. So that is a very happy moment which strengthened our movement. So this, I'm just giving one example, which is a global example. So that will have implication on our project because this will provide us a basis for advocating for our rights. So in 2.2, this is about the important changes in organization, which you have influence, but this is not related to the project. So what are the changes within the organization that has influence on the project? And what are they and how they will affect the operation, or how it has smoothened the operation of the project. For example, let me give one example here, like the leadership changes in the project, in the organization, which is beyond the capacity of the project initiative, but it has implication on the project. So this is one of the example where we have organizational level change and can have the effect in the operation of the initiative within the project. So please mention it in 2.2. In section 3, this is a very brief glimpse of what we have it in an implementation plan, reflecting upon what were the planned activities within the time frame and whether it has completed or not, and or like ongoing, or whether some of the planned activities for other time period has been implemented. It has to be here. So if it is completed, what is the completed date? And while we implement the activities, there might be some changes. For example, we are not talking about the changes of the activities and budget beyond the limit. We are talking about the changes, small changes within the adjustment when we implement. For example, location can change. For example, there can be budgetary change, but please make sure that if there is any budget change or any significant activity change, it has to be approved. But if there is any small changes, it has to be and even this budgetary and approved budgetary and activity change has to be reflected here with the why it has changed and what action we did to adjust those changes. And if these activities are not completed, is it ongoing or not implemented, please mention the period when do you think it should be complete. So this is about 3. This is a very summary progress progress of the activities. We don't need a very elaborative. Some of the elaboration we need is only in column 4. With this, fourth one is about the results and changes we have been able to create due to the project. This change is, please refer to your log frame, results, output and outcomes, and please don't forget to explain the indicators. As you have experienced a lot on reporting, so I won't be referring much. And this is the section where we expect you to explain as much as you can, provided that everything you have achieved as per project log frame is reflected here. So this one doesn't have word limit. In 4.2, please reflect the key achievements and positive results. This is what things which is not mentioned in 4.1 has to come here. This is beyond the project achievements contributed by project. And 4.3 is beyond the project achievement contributed by contributed project. Earlier one is in a global situation in the lives of indigenous women and girls and our movement. And third one is within the organization. We are talking within the organization. First one is external, Second one is internal in the organization. And 4.4 is, this is the section where we found that there are like we get confused a little bit or mixed up a little bit. So these are the areas we expect that we want to strengthen our sister organization in different aspects, and that's why we provide you different accompaniment, linking and learning, and other activities in the project. So these area, if has changed or has influence or strengthened, please make sure that this has linkages with the project. If the project has contributed, it can be directly or it can be indirectly. So please mention this um, uh, with the linkage, logical, like, causal relationship. Please mention that. Please make sure that this has linkage with project contribution. So there are many like areas. So I won't be going with in details. So section 5 is about linking and learning and collaboration, where we expect if there are any new collaboration, strengthen collaboration, expansion of collaboration within the project period and beyond, which is helping to implement the project. And please explain who are they and what kind of coordination communication happened with them, and any new ideas and practices you have learned during this project period, with these stakeholders and also with our partners, like in the joint event like this time we are much more like talking a lot from our side, but there will be like opportunity where you share your experience learning and then we learn from you. So if you have learned any process, any practices which or idea which is useful to you, please mention it in 5.3. And then, and no, this is within organization, and 5.3 is any learning and things you have done differently as a result of the project. That is like, one is learning, another way is practicing the learning. So that is reflected in 5.3. 5.6 is about the financial summary. We will have orientation on this. We don't need very detail of this. We just need like summary of the financial report, so that someone who doesn't want to go for a financial report review can look into this and and then have like idea of how the financial progress is. So please do not forget to mention your own organizational contribution, which is very, very important. That is called co-investment. And we value, that's why I said earlier that you are working in a universe, and the collaboration with FIMI and our accompaniment is only tiny bit of it to support you, to facilitate you, to catalyze your to your initiatives, to your overall movement, to achieve your goal. So with this, in 7th one, please mention key challenge and adopted strategy. It is in a proposal as well. Please refer to the proposal. What are the key challenges and how you mitigated it? Or if you perceive any challenge in future, please mention what are the challenges you have foreseen and what can be the mitigation strategy. So in 8, what are the key M&E activities you have done or you are planning to do to track the progress of your activities and ensuring that we are achieving the result we are expected to achieve. So section 9 deals with the sustainability. Do you think how the indigenous women and communities are engaged with the project and activities, and how do you think they will have long-term impact? And 9.3 is about the stakeholders. Which stakeholders have contributed and what were their role? And especially on value addition. especially if they will contribute in a sustainability. For example, if we have our group and it is registered in a government, that there is a chances that government, they will have resource access to government. This is just one example. 9.3 is if there is any initiative you are taking to replicate your project activities or overall approach. For example, we have progressive here. Progressive is replicating the initiative they did in project phase number 1 with this phase. So this is the replication that progress is doing here. So this is one thing that can come under this section. So this is very simple. What are the lesson learned and good practice? But I just want to mention, please little bit elaborate your lesson learned. Just don't end it by one sentence or two. Please elaborate it so that we can also learn from you, and we can also communicate your learning best practices to good practices to other continent and to other partners. So what are the recommendations for improving the project implementation? This is about your in linkage with FIMI. What do you think you can improve at your level, at project level, and at to create a better impact to the communities? And third one is what your recommendation will be for INI Fund team to improve the implementation better way in the future. So we have in this way, we have 11 sections. All sections are important. Please make sure that we complete all the sections. So annexes are there. These annexes are mandatory. Here we just mentioned about who are the indigenous people we work with and how many of them. And then if there are non-indigenous people, please mention as others, because it should also be accounted. For example, when we develop the alliances, there might be some women organization or other indigenous organization who are there with us, especially non-indigenous people can be accounted as others. And this is the direct and indirect participant. You have already exercised it many times. I won't be going through it. Please mention very briefly the success cases. Please explain the background context. What was the intervention with the project, and what was the result? So these will be 3 sections in the success case. We don't need a very elaborated one. It can be half page with pictures. And please do not forget to send the pictures of each activities with 2 photos each. And please share us any link you have, video, podcast, and social media, and any of other media, no? And this is very important for our communication to promote, disseminate what you have been doing. We are very happy, some of the partners are sending us updates and very encouraging, the pictures. So that really matters. We can make them visible, the impact we are creating, and that also encourages to see us to see the changes you are making at the grassroots level, and that help us, encourage us to work even harder. So with this, please share if there is any published printed articles in your language, in regional language or any other language. Please send us the copy cutting of that activities, which is through the printed media. So this is all about the interim report. I stop sharing this. Now floor is open for our discussion. I hope I made it on time. So we will, and beside that, we will have more enriched discussion, especially on admin and finance, because that is the area we struggle a lot. So please, floor is open if there is any questions.
Please, you can raise your hand to put your question, or even you can put in the chat box. I think so far we don't have any questions in the chat box.
Yes, hello. Um, uh, we may need one more month to get approved from our NG Bureau ministry. We haven't got approved yet. So if we can do one or two starting a program with our own fund in our that working area. Is it okay with that? Or we wait for the approval? I think better we wait for the approval of the NGO Bureau Ministry. Yes.
Okay, regarding the activity implementation, um, Mary, what is the starting date of your project mentioned in MOU?
At January. Sorry, at December.
Okay, 2022. So if we are talking about about the implementation, of course,
Yeah.
like resource is important to implement the initiatives, activities at the grassroots level. But
Yeah.
in terms of like implementation, once the date is like the date mentioned in MOU is our like, you know, guiding time period. So you
Yes.
can start implementing your activities. But having said that, if you have resource is
Yeah.
important. It can
Okay.
be possible for some of you, but not all for all of us. So
Yeah.
maybe if it is possible, you can start implementing so that we can complete the project on time, and
Yeah.
then like report on time as well. That will be good. But if there is like resource implication, then that is a different story. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mary, for your question. I think Fiola has raised her hand. Fiola?
Thank you so much for this opportunity. We would like to get a clarification. We were supposed to start this project in the month of November, and we have sent all these MOUs, but we haven't received any, any transactions. So, how do we, how do we do our project and when do we have to start it, or is there anything that we need to know from them?
Sorry, Fiola, I cannot hear. It is not audible.
Yeah.
Alma, can you hear her?
No, even it was not clear.
Okay, so can we just write it so that
Yeah, I think it
We
will
can
be
hear
better.
you. Now we can hear you. I think you are speaking a little bit closely. We can hear you now.
hello,
Yeah,
is it audible,
yeah.
everyone? Yeah, just a clarification. We were supposed to start and then by November, but as of now, we haven't received any transaction. So, what is what is the status that we are having? If you can, let us know, that would be of great help.
Viola, sorry, earlier we heard it well. Can you type your question in chat box? Because I think it will be easier rather than, you know, guessing the answer, guessing the question. It will be better if you can, like, you know, you can type it here.
Yeah, even
We
the
respond it.
interpreter could not follow you. So if you could type the question. Thank you. I think we have next question from Ritaji. Please introduce your organization when you speak. Ritaji?
सबैमा सर्वप्रथम नमस्कार, गुड मर्निङ। यो बैठक बोलाउनु भएकोमा फिमी एनी टिमलाई धेरै धेरै धन्यवाद दिन चाहन्छौँ। हामीले हाम्रो
I want to thank everyone in FIMI for inviting us to this program. We are trying to conduct our program to the best we could, and there was a format which was sent to us before. We have already prepared the report according to that format. There seems to be some changes in the format, and we need to comply with that. So I just want to know by when we have to submit this report, and if you could extend the time frame, then we will be able to submit this report. Thank you.
Okay.
That's it. She's finished.
Rita ji, thank you for this question. Especially, yes, for Asia, we have to comply with the template. That's why we have shared you the. I think narrative report is the same. Both the reports are the same, except like even the financial reporting template is the same. If it is like what we shared recently, like day before yesterday and yesterday. So I think we have this is the same. So we have to use the harmonized template. So, but if there is any challenges, please reach us out. We will work together. I don't remember exactly the date that you have to report. I think it is sometime early February. So we still have time. I hope like we can work this out. And if you need more time, please reach us out. We can discuss on how we can manage that. Is it clear?
हजुर एकदम हामी स्पष्ट भयौँ हामीलाई
this is very clear to us, and I don't think we need more time to send this report. There might be some questions on financial report which we need to take care of, and we will be able to send the report.
Sure. Yeah, Rita ji, yeah, this is the platform that we have our whole admin and finance team here. They will answer your question, hopefully. That is what we are expecting today. So looking forward for your questions. So, yeah.
So, Shushila ji, we have the question from Fiona in the chat box.
Okay, so sorry, Alma, please go ahead.
Yeah, so she's asking, they were supposed to get the fund in November 2022, but they haven't yet received. Fiona, may I know your organization?
Sisterhood.
A Sisterhood Network, yeah. So, yeah, so she's asking, how do we proceed with the proposal? If we could get some more information, that would be great.
Okay. So thank you, Fiona. Yes, we reached out to Sisterhood. We had a special case with the Sisterhood. And unfortunately, like, there were some communication gap between bank and Sisterhood Network itself. So actually the money has bounced back to FIMI's account. It was already disbursed. So that's why we have reached out to our sisters from Sisterhood. And then we are about to solve this. I hope like we will receive funds soon. Okay, Hast is here. She will respond further on it. Hast, please.
Yes, Sushila, thank you. Well, in the case of Sisterhood, we received this communication from the bank rejecting the bank transfer because they say they need more documents from the organization to approve the transfer of the money. So we send an email to our accountant explaining this, that you maybe need to inform to the bank at the moment that you receive the bank transfer. And our accountant said to us that she's going to order again the bank transfer. So we expect that she order again the bank transfer this week, maybe tomorrow. And after that, we will give you the notice to be aware and to be in contact to your bank to check the successful transfer, okay? We will write
Thank
you.
Hast. Yes, thank Hast. Yeah, we have already written this, the communication fluid. So we are looking forward like to have this account at this money in your account. But having said that, if this has implication on the project period and so on, we will talk bilaterally. Thank you. So
Thank you so very much, Alma, Kisra, and Pat, for this clarification. Just wanted to, let you know all that as soon as you do all the transactions, it will be very, very helpful for Sisterhood Network if you can communicate with us immediately after you send everything, so that we can check with them. Because many of times, if we don't check, the bank doesn't let us know. So it is us, we have to take the first step. So I know that everything is doing from your end, and it would be of great help if you can communicate with us at the earliest so that we can also get in touch with the bank. Thank you so very much.
yes, actually, like, yeah, we have recommended that and we have noted it. Yeah, that's why Hast already mentioned that we will get back to you with the money disbursement like document so that you can like reach out to bank immediately. So, but yeah, I think, okay, we have already taken that measure. Thank you, Fiola. Mhm.
Anyone has any further questions? I think it looks like no one has. That means all have got clear information from your presentation, Sushila ji. Maybe last round, I would like to give time for the question. Otherwise, we can proceed with our further sessions.
Mhm.
Actually, we had 5 more minutes for the questions. Or maybe if you are still reflecting about your queries and questions, you can note down, and if we have time at the end of the presentation from the admin team, you can still raise because this is interconnected with the next presentation. Yeah, and also our team is available always. You can reach out to us for any support. We will also meet you in individual follow-up meetings in the bilateral meetings. We can discuss your queries and we can assist you. So thank you so much, Sushila ji, for your presentation on monitoring and evaluation tool. You explained very well.
Yeah, thank you all.
Yeah.
Thank you all. Please reach us out. This is just the beginning. We just wanted to give you a highlight of what is coming in a plate as a accountability mechanism and transparency. So we will work together on this. This is just the start, just the highlight. So thank you, Alma. Over to you.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, Sushila. So now we have 5 minutes for the break, but before that, we would like to take a group pictures because I think Sushila will be leaving for her another engagement. So may I request, may I request all of you to switch on your video. Yeah, we have beautiful pictures. We had been communicating through email and WhatsApp. Now we see each other. So beautiful face, very fresh. Thank you. Yeah. Yes, smile everyone. This is the beautiful face from different countries and the region, the beauty of the indigenous people. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank
Some
you.
of us, we did not sit down for the handwriting. Thank you so much. So we can
So
take
now
5
we break,
minutes.
Alma.
Yeah, 5 minutes short break and we come back
5 minutes.
for
Okay,
our
thank
next
you.
presentation. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you.
I hope all our participants are back to their seat. So
Sister, are you saying something?
yes, Lakshmi ji, I said like hope all of our participants are back to the session, so we can go ahead. Once again, welcome
Pardon?
back. Yeah,
Pardon?
once again.
Pardon? Sorry.
Lakshmi ji, I said like I hope all our sisters are back to the session.
Yeah. Mani is here and Krishna ji also here.
Yeah, so welcome back.
I think
And
in Nepal, it is early morning, so they are having tea, and in the bed also, so they are just joining from the bed also. So sorry for that. So
okay,
cold, isn't it?
yeah.
So sorry.
So welcome back once again. And
We three from IWL.
thank you, Lakshmi ji. Welcome.
It is so nice to see you all, but it is little bit odd issue where they are not all joining with the bright face, isn't it? So hiding from where. Yeah. Me also just wake up.
Yeah, thank you, Lakshmi ji. Please take care of your health in the winter. Yeah, so we go to the next session. I welcome our admin team.
Hard work, yeah.
I welcome our admin team for the next presentation. That is on admin and finance and the compliances. We have 1 hour, so 30 minutes for the presentation and 30 minutes for the question and answer. But it depends on the number of questions and the queries you have. So, Carmen, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Alma. Good evening, good morning. My name is Carmen Cordova. I am from Lima, Peru, and I am part of administrative and finance team of INI Fund. I'm glad to meet you all, and thank you very much for your time for this session. And now we are going to review the general guidelines of expense reporting and the formats. Alma, can I share my screen?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Yeah, we can see your screen.
Okay. Okay, so let's start. The memorandum of understanding. I know all of you have already signed the MOU, but it's an important document. As you know, it's a legal document that indicates the obligations and commitments for both parties, the INI Fund and the organization partner. It's a document for a permanent review throughout the project because it has an important information like the total grant approved, the disbursements, the duration of the project, the financial reports, etc. It is mandatory that all activities be carried out within the date established in the agreement. Any modification of the agreement must be requested to FIMI, and if it is approved, it will be formalized by means of an addendum duly signed by both legal representative. The disbursements. The amount approved by FIMI in the MOU will be transferred in your bank account into disbursements. The first disbursement will be made after the MOU has been signed. And the second disbursement will be made after the first financial report has been approved by FIMI. This financial report, this first financial report or midterm report, must show the execution of expenses of at least 80% of the first disbursement that you receive. For example, if the first disbursement was $1,000, the expenses should be at least $800. The financial report. This is mandatory. This report reflects the execution and implementation of project activities in terms of budget and liquidity. The first financial report or midterm report must show expenditures, as I said before, of at least 80% of the first disbursements that you receive, and with all the details of the expenses from the project start date to the date of submission of the report. And the final financial report must show the balance of the first disbursement, if there was, plus 100% of the second disbursement that you receive. All documentation must be dated within the period of time of the project, according with the MOU. But which are the supporting documents for this financial report? We have an accounting documents and the other documents. The accounting documents, the invoices. The invoice is a legal document according with the tax regulations of the country where the project is implemented. It's the document that the suppliers gives you for the purchase of the products or the services. And the authorized receipt is must be used only in those cases when the invoices are not available. And the other documents like expense sheet for mobility, reimbursements, per diems, attendance list of participants, settlement of hotel and food expenses, agenda for workshops or events, reports for activities, photographs, employment contracts, pay slips, consultancy contracts, terms of reference, reports, or deliverables under contracts. All these documents must have a seal. Because of that, each organization must have a seal with the information of the project number, or maybe the code, the grant code, the number of grant code, or in some cases, the number of the MOU with this reference, paid by FIMI, INI fund. But which are the FIMI requirements for all these documents, for all supporting documents of expenses? For the invoice, the data required is the organization's info, like the name, the address, the invoice number, the date, month, year, the value, the description, in some cases, if the case, the quantity, the total value in numbers, the total value in letters, and of course, the seal with the information of the project. For the receipts may vary by country, but you have to make sure that the receipt have the accurate information to support the expenses. And also the receipts must have the complete information like document number, date, name of the organization, who provides the service, amount in numbers, in letters, the signature of who received the payments, and if it's possible, the copy of their personal ID. And remember, also place the seal. For the requirements for the list of participants for workshops or events. In the same way, the name of the organization, the place where the activity was carried out, the name of the participants, the personal ID, the organizations where the participants come from, and the ID and the contact number, and the signature for each participant. Please do not leave spaces or lines unfilled or unsigned. Make sure they complete all the rows and columns of the document without smudges, missing pieces of paper, or with crossings out. Also, place the seal, and please name and put the name and the signature of the persons in charge of the event. For the expense spreadsheets, the name of the organization, the name of the event or the name of the activity, the date and place, number of participants, the participants' full name, participants' personal ID of participants, the amount for each day, and the column for total per each participant, the signature of each of the participants, the total amount for each column, and of course, the seal. Please don't forget the signature of the person in charge of the event. Here we have some examples of invalid documents or the FIMI do not accept or do not approve. For example, the document, this document we cannot see the name of the organization, the name of the activity, the place, and the date of the activity, and is missing the seal. And the other example, we can see amounts with cross out and amounts paid with no name of recipients, and also is missing the seal. We have other examples. For example, this invoice has a tier and is not clear the information. And the other one has an unfilled information and also is missing the seal. I want to return because I forgot when the invoice is in the other languages, in the local languages, please, you have to put at the bottom of the document the main information in English. For example, the amount, the product or the services, the invoice number, the number of the name of the organization, the name of the provider, okay, in order to understand which is the kind of expense. What are the frequent mistakes that you have to avoid when you elaborate your reports? Incomplete supporting documents with crossings out, incomplete days in spreadsheets. Is missing the place where the activity was carried out, invoices without the name of the organization, without the value in the numbers and the letters and the description or the detail of the concept. Supporting documents with dates outside the period of the time approved under the MOU. Use of the same documents for different periods, no? Failure to attach complete documents, for example, expense statements, list of participants, term of reference, quotes, means of verification. Scanning of document in a non-legible manner, and the seal or stamp is not placed in all the support documents. We have, regarding the deadlines for submission of reports and documents. Regarding the deadlines, you can see your MOU, the midterm report must be presented upon completion of the first half of the project within the 30 days thereafter at the latest. And the final report upon completion of the project according to the term of duration established in the MOU for the execution of the project within the 30 days thereafter at the latest. Regarding the organization and presentation of the documents, all the documents supporting expenditures should be scanned and filed in digital PDF format and listed in the same correlative order in which the expenses were detailed in the financial report in the table 1 to facilitate their location, review, and subsequent approval. The table 1 we will see in detail later. We have general recommendations that we would like to take into account when you elaborate your reports. The expenses reported in the reports must be directly related to the execution of the project and must be included in the approved budget. Any modification to the budget must be expressly approved by FIMI. Please note that FIMI will not recognize over execution of the project of the budget approved in the MOU. And please note that the delay in the submission of reports will result in a delay or no submission of the next disbursement, and if it is applicable, the suspension of the MOU. All project activities and expenses shall be executed according to the schedule and within the period of the time established in the MOU. Ensure that the scanned documentation is legible and facilitate verification. Comply with the organization's internal procedures, such as contracting policies, procurement policies, fees and salaries policies, per diem payment policies, etc., for the correct execution expenses. If these are not available, you can may request FIMI to help to adapt these procedures to your context. The partner organizations must take care not to contravene the tax, labor, and other legal regulations of the country where the project is implemented. And finally, but very important, it is necessary that the partner organization executing the project pays special attention to the comments and recommendations resulting from FIMI's review of the reports. So once that you receive it, it can take the necessary actions to comply with them. If you no attend these recommendations or comments, we can result in that I mentioned before in delays of the next disbursements or the delays in the formal close of the project is if we are in the date and the finish of the period of the project. Now we are going to review the Excel formats. But if so far you have questions, don't worry, because later on we will have some minutes for your questions. Now we can share my screen, please. Okay. Now we are going to share the Excel formats. Can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, I can.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
The Excel sheet format has two tables. The table one is the breakdown of expenses. This table, this table shows all the expenses in detail of the reporting period. So you have to complete this information: the name of the project, the name of the organization, the grant code, the reported period, the submission date, and the country. Please note that this information is mandatory for all the organizations. In this column, you have to put the specific objectives, activities, and other costs according with the budget approved in the MOU. In this table, you have to specify the document support one by one. So for the activity one, in this example, we have the invoice with the number, the issue date, the supplier, the description of the expense. But you have to take you have to know this column is very important, the correlative order number, because this number must have the same number with the document, with the scanned document in the PDF file. Okay, so we have these columns, the date, the invoice number, the number of receipt, the expenditure sheet, the supplier, the description or the detail of expense, the amount in local currency, and those columns, the K and L, is for expenses for any fund contribution. We have the exchange rate, and this cell you have to put the exchange rate which your bank deposit in your bank account, the disbursement. It's easy to have this information in the bank statement or in the bank note of the disbursement. So you have to put the local currency according with the document support, and in this column you have to put the equivalence in US American dollars using the exchange rate for calculate the equivalence. You can add the rows that you need to complete all the information. If for example, if the activity has a lot of documents, you can add all the rows that you need. Because remember, you have to specify each document one by one. And so on for all the activities. You have to totalize amount in currency and in the spent amount in American dollars. These two columns are for the organizations that have own contribution in your budget or in your proposal. The organization commits with own contribution. So you have to put in detail your own contribution in local currency and the equivalence in dollars using the exchange rate. And you have to totalize the total expenses. And also for the organizations that have own contribution, maybe have a non-monetary contribution value, like spiritual support or maybe voluntary work. And you have to put in these last two columns for the expenses, and you have to totalize the non-monetary contribution and monetary contribution. And another thing that is mandatory is the signature and the name of the legal representative or the project coordinator, and the signature and the name of the accountant or administrator or the person who prepared the report. When you finish or when you complete this table, you can move forward to the table 2. The table 2 is the budget implementation and liquidity. This report has two parts. The first one is the budget implementation by activity. Also, you have to complete this information, the name of the project, the organization name, the grant code, reported period, submission date, and country. And this column, you have to put the specific objectives, activities according with the approved budget in the MOU. In the column called A, you have to put the approved budget by any fund. In the column B, you have to put the expenses executed in the previous period. If it's the first financial report, this column will be 0. In this column called C, you have to put the expenditures executed and the reported period. And the column called D is the sum, is the total of expenses executed in this period. And the last column is the balance of the budget to execute the pending activities. So is the column A, total approved budget, minus total executed expenses. This report is very important for the monitoring of the expenses in relation with the activity committed for the project. Because this column allows to analyze how the budget is going, how the budget is going in relation to the schedule of the activities, and allows to analyze the balance of the activities are overspent or in other cases underspent. So you have to analyze, and maybe it will be necessary readjust the budget. So after complete all the activities, you have to totalize the expenses from the total any monetary contribution. This total must be the same that you put in the table 1. In this example, is $4,400, and the same amount is in the table 2. And the second part of this table is the liquidity summary of the project. This table shows the liquidity of the project. You can see the column called A is the disbursement in the local currency. In this example, the first disbursement, you have to put in this column the first disbursement, the date, the month of and the year. You have to put in the column called A the total received in your local currency, the exchange rate, that it will be the same that you use in the table 1, and the exchange rate is the rate which the bank made the deposit in your bank account. In the column C, you have to put the equivalent in dollars, in American dollars, using the exchange rate. And the column D, you have to put the total execution of the expenses, that is the same amount that the budget expenses, no? The total budget, the total expenses in table of the budget in the budget implementation. So you have to the column E, that reflects or show the liquidity available or the money available to execute the activities pending. So this column is the total disbursement received by the organization partners minus the total execution of expenditures. In the case of the final report, this amount should be 0, no? And in the same way, you have to complete the own contribution. If it's the case, you have to put the local currency, the exchange rate, and in the column called A, you have to put your equivalents in American dollars, and the total execution of expenses, and the available balance is the total on contribution minus total execution of expenses. And in the same, I would like that you know that the 3 tables has the same amount. The breakdown of expenses has the total amount $4,400. The budget of implementation activities for $1,000 and $400, and the liquidity summary of the project has the same amount. You have to take care the 3 tables has the same amount. And in the same way, it's mandatory for this table the signature and the name of the legal representative or the project coordinator, and the signature and the name of the accountant or administrator or who prepared the report. So this is the 4 months that you have to elaborate for your first financial report and your final financial report. Alma, that would be all. I think we can move forward to the questions.
Yeah, thank you, Carmen. If you completed your presentation. Yeah, you can put your questions. You can raise the hand if you have any queries and questions.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, I have one question. I am Mani Guru from IWL Nepal.
Okay.
हजुर सुशीलाजी नमस्ते, म नेपालीबाटै सोध्छु ल। यो अघि भनिएको माथिको सबै कुराहरु त स्पष्ट छ, प्रष्टै छ। मैले यहाँ
All
सोध्न
the
लागेको
things that you have explained is very clear, but there are 2 things that I want to ask. One is like the exchange rate of the dollar. What happens is that, like, when you are signing MOU, at that time there will be $1 USD, one rate, and then when the money comes to the bank, there will be another rate. Now, which rate should we accept? Which should we mention? It's very clear that the bills have to be clearly written, but sometimes when you go to the bill, it may not be like that. Like, not everybody will be giving the bill. So in that case, how can we produce the bill? Like, how can we submit the bill? Like, there may not be the details. You may not always receive the bills from others according to, like, which will be meeting your criteria. In that case, what can we do?
Okay, the first question is, it was about the exchange rate, if I understood well, because it's not clear for me, the audio,
Yes.
yes, no?
Yeah.
Alma,
So
Alma,
yeah, at Carmen, so the
yes, and
question was that MOU will, at the time of signing MOU, there will be one exchange rate, but when the money finally comes to the bank, like your account, there might be another rate. So in that case, which exchange rate should they follow? Should they
okay.
mention?
Okay, I understood. You have to work with the exchange rate when you receive the disbursement, because at that time you can change the money, and maybe result and minus that the proposal, the budget and your proposal. So you have to, if it's necessary to adjust the budget, but you have to use the exchange rate when you receive the disbursement. It's clear?
I hope it's clear.
Alma, I don't know if.
हजुर सुशीलाजी, हजुर सुशीलाजी स्पष्ट भयो, म बुझेँ, I understood.
Okay, he understood. I think he also raised one more question. He
Yes.
said like about the receipt, if the receipt is not meeting the criteria of the admin and finance. Any option? For that?
Well, the requirements for the FIMI requirements for the documents are in most of the cases is mandatory. So you have to effort to the documents have all the requirements. Maybe can be exceptional cases, but for the most of the documents, you have to take the invoice and the receipts and the list of participants and all the document support with all the requirements, the FIMI requirements, because we have to, there are the requirements, the FIMI requirements, but we have to comply with the our donors requirements and our auditors. So you have to comply with the FIMI requirements. If you have an example, maybe you can explain to us what kind of receipt do you refer?
हजुर, म एकपल्ट फेरि मेरो क्वेसनलाई स्पष्ट पार्न चाहन्छु है त.
He will rephrase the question once again. Sometimes when you go to the community, sometimes when you are working with the community, they may not be able to give you the bills, vouchers, and you will be required to buy things. So at that time, you will not be receiving proper bills, So how do we do that? How do we cover that? No, we do ask them to give us the bills, but they may not be able to. So, and then how can we sort out such problems?
Okay, I understood. As I said in my presentation, we can use the receipts when those cases when the invoice is not available. But as I said, is for exceptional cases. And that receipt must comply with all the requirements, as I said in the presentation, with the name of the organization, the description of the product or the services, the amount in dollars, the amount in numbers and letters, the name of who provide the services. If that receives of the community complain with all the requirements, we can accept that, but not in most of the cases. As I said, in the exceptional cases, when it's impossible to find the invoice, the legal invoice.
I think it has clarified the question. So we have one more question from Mane. Yes, Mane.
Thank you, Carmen, for your kindly presentation about the finance requirement, and also Anna and all the FIMI team. For me, I just would like, I think we have been discussed a lot already, even during in Bangkok, about the requirement ID card. So I just want to be clear that we will try our best in order to get the ID card put in the list of participants. But as you know, this is one of the sensitive requirements that can be, make our participant questioning, and then some people, they may not give to us because the ID card using like in the context of Cambodian only in something that very official way, in for their personal interest, something like that. And somehow they asking why you only get allowance to us, and then you asking for ID card. For the consultant, it's okay, they understand this, but with our own indigenous community, and some our indigenous community does not have the ID card yet because of the government not yet issue for them. So in this regard, we just only explanation, right? Or make so we explanation in the list of participants, or we should have a extra paper to explain that this person not give us the ID card with their reason. Example, like they don't have the ID card, or they don't want to bill us because they're concerning that we will use this ID card for in the different or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you for your question, young man. I understood your reflection, and when the personal ID is a requirement of list of participants, but when the case is exceptional or is impossible to achieve the ID cards, you or the responsible of the event can write a note, maybe in the same list of participants or in note apart, explain to us the situation, why it's impossible to achieve the IDs, and we understood, we can understand the context, and we can be flexible in those exceptional cases, and with that note, we can explain to our auditors, and they can approve that situation, no? And they can understand the context of the organization and the community.
Thank you. So this is also with the same requirement of the contact number, right? Some our indigenous, they don't have their own direct contact number, but sometimes when we connected with them, we contact with them through the different person. This is also we need to explain in the column of the participant, right? And
please,
just one more additional, one additional my suggestion related also requirement of bank account. I think, but you know, when I look at the requirement of the FIMI, it's similar to the UN system requirement, because the UN requirement system, you know, require all the ID card, the bank account of the participant, you know, all these things. But as we are indigenous people, indigenous community, and we are still, you know, slowly left behind all these things. So in somehow, even you know, regarding to the bank account, that is like in I don't know in the other country, but in Cambodia or in Asia, most of our indigenous people does not have that access to the bank account, especially at the community level. So this is also something I would suggest, just for further discussion with donor, you know, that some requirement they need to be reviewed, you know, again when they are funded to our indigenous community. Thank you.
I can hear you may well, Alma.
Okay.
I didn't understood that she suggests. If you can help me.
Yeah, she suggested that she also shared her concern, saying that some of the IP indigenous people or the persons, they do not have their bank ID, the account, no bank account in the rural communities. So how do we go about the payments, or do we have any suggestions or solutions for this, or some kind of like, you know, acknowledging the issue?
If the people or belongs the community that doesn't have the bank account, is the question? How do you make the payments? Is the question?
Yes, it is a question as well as a comment.
What?
Is it a question or also a comment? Mane, am I like, did I understand you? Was that your concern?
Alma, can I just?
Maya, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Maya.
So I think what Mane is saying is that two things. One is the requirement of the contact number of the participants, and sometimes the requirement of the bank transfer proof, kind of a thing. So what she is saying is that many times the participants don't have their own contact number. Like most of the IP women, sometimes many of them don't have their own contact number. That is one thing. And then another is that because of non-availability of bank accounts, sometimes the transfer of funds, that kind of thing might be a problem. So this is her concern. And then also a suggestion that when FIMI talk with donors or like that, maybe they would like, they would like to put forward this concern to the donors. If FIMI can do that, that is a request also, I think. Please correct me if I got you wrong, Mane. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Maya. Yes, we understand the context of the communities, and we try to find, to together the solution for these cases within our requirements. No, we have to try to find how to resolve these situations. And for example, if the indigenous women don't have bank accounts, if I understood well, maybe the organization can be the payments in cash, no? And the proof of the payment is the receipt and the sign of the person who received the payment. Okay, is the only way that I find in this moment. And about the ID numbers, I answer to Jermaine, and the solution with the right the note explain the situation, no?
Yeah, I hope, Mane, the clarification is okay for you.
Yes, that's fine, thanks.
Yeah, thank you, Mane.
Yeah.
And thank you, Maya, for the supplement. Next question we have in the chat box is from Fiola from the Sisterhood Network. Her question is, can we do the expense through cash if it exceeds more than 10,000 Indian rupees or like $127? Or is there any limit for cash payment?
It depends of the internal procedures of the organization, but we suggest pay in cash with the amounts are short, no, or minimum, because for the high amounts, we suppose that if we pay for a big purchase, for example, for a laptop, no, for fees for the service of the printer, no? So in these cases, you have to pay by bank transfer, no? Because the providers are formally. But in the cases that, for example, that you may explain, you can pay in cash, but with the formal receipt, with all the information. But the limit depends of the organization, no? But we can suggest that the higher amounts can be with by bank transfer. It's better, it's more secure, and we suggest that, no?
So Carmen is like $127 is okay for the cash payment. She has mentioned about that.
I don't know, because I don't know the case or the situation, so maybe it can be a short amount, but it depends what is the kind of the expense or what number of the payments of that amount the organization has been made. I don't know the details. So a first view, it can be good, but I don't know the details.
Fiola, are you clear? Still you have any doubt? We have no answer from. We have no answer from her. So can we go to the next question from Manju? Manjuji from Nepal.
Yes, ma'am. I have one question that is related to payment voucher. We have done to program a rural village area, and then at that time we got the receipt or payment voucher, and we don't have a proper receipt or payment voucher. Then we decide to make it payment voucher one language, and then we translate it English. Is that okay? That expenditure is like a food expenses related payment voucher. We made it in one language, and then we translate in English. Is that okay?
Alma, Maya, if I understood well, you made expenses, you have invoices or documents for in another languages.
Yeah.
The local language. Yeah, and you
Nepali language, that invoice is Nepali language, then we translate it in English. Is that okay?
As I said in the presentation, if you have that case, you in order to understand what kind of expense do you make, you have to put in English the main information, like the date, the product or the service that you pay, no, the amounts in dollars, and a brief explanation what kind of product or the service is, no, in order to understand the reasonability of the expense, no, because we don't understand the Nepali language. So if we when we made the review, we cannot put check with because we don't understand. So with a brief explanation in English of the main information, we can understand and approve the expenses.
Okay, we have done at rural village area and program, and we have done at that place, and then we received invoice in Nepali language related food expenses, and then we received that invoice, then we translate in English language in a detailedly, like date and organization name and amount is overally translated in English. Is that okay? What I want to ask for you.
Yes, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah.
If you translate in English, the main information is okay for us.
Okay, that's it. My question. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you, Manjuji, and thank you, Carmen, for the clarification. We are almost at the end of our session, but we can take few more questions, maybe one or two. If any questions.
Is it true we will be providing the receipt with the signatures?
Okay, yeah, we have one more question from Sisterhood Network. Expense like travel, accommodation, or food in rural areas, though we will be providing the receipt with the signatures or seal. So that is the example she gave.
Okay, the seal, you have to put the seal in all the support documents and receipts and the invoice and the list of participants and spread sheets and all the documents, you have to put the seal. And the list of participants and the list of reimbursement for mobility or food, no, or accommodation, you have to put the signature of the responsible of the activity or the event. Okay? Is clear?
Oh, there is one more question. What is the ID numbers of participant? Okay, regarding the ID number.
Is the personal identification document.
Which is issued by the government.
Yes.
So we don't see any hand raised or question in the comment box. I think all have got the answers and the clarifications, but we are always available for your support. You can reach us to our team via WhatsApp or email if you have further any questions.
Yes, we are available to your, if you have more questions or consultations, we are available, as Olivia, all the team, all the administrative team is available to solve your questions.
Yeah, so thank you, Carmen, so much for your beautiful presentation with lots of explanation. And we very specially thank you for holding you back. This is quite late for you, quite late in the evening. Thank you so much. And this is the last session. And in the beginning, our sisters from Sisterhood Network, they were supposed to present a ritual, or they wanted to sing a song, but they could not because of the technical issue. So if their team is ready, they can sing the song. And with this, I hand over to Sushila, if she has something to add, and Maya after Sushila. So thank you so much for your participation and for the presentation, Carmen and Sushila.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Actually, sorry, I was there, but I was just listener. I listened what has been presented and the Q&A. Having said that, I hope there has been more clarity, and few of our partners, as I mentioned earlier, have already reported their interim report, and we have, I think that brings us lots of experience and discussion in the discussion session, Q&A session. But this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. And in this beginning, maybe Arjun, if she wants to, wants to bless our beginning with this induction, with her song, as Alma mentioned, we invite her to, give blessing from her community, from sisterhood and our ancestors. So, Ajung, are you
Thank you,
there? Sorry.
Sushila. Ajung has just requested few seconds. They are preparing. So maybe Maya can take the floor. She has something to announce. By the time Ajung will be ready and her team will be ready.
Okay, hello everyone. I think Sushila will be doing the closing and the word of thanks, so I will not say much, but I'll just introduce myself. My name is Maya, and then I am a new team member of the Asia I Need team.
Thank you, Maya. So Shushila, we have few announcements.
Ajahn, please
think
go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so let's give floor to Ajung because her team is ready.
Hi,
Ajung?
everyone.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yes, yes, you can hear me.
Thank you so much and for the opportunity and to present you all with these blessings, and we hope that we will continue to bless each other through our works, through our action. Though we are miles away, we are always together as sisters of indigenous women. So at this very moment, I would like to introduce our two sisters, Atala and Natala. They are going to bless us with a song. Thank you. Thank you, Sister Atala and Natala. That's from our two sisters invoking, our Creator's blessing to all of us. Thank you all.
Thank you, sister. Carvin, have you raised your hand? Do you have any comments?
No.
So thank you. Okay. So thank you so much, sisters, for your beautiful song and invoking the blessing of our Creator and the ancestors. We feel the vibration and we go with the blessings. No. So we have few announcement and some information from Susila, I think. Yes, Susila.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know, is it like closing or is it just information of what next?
Yeah, information of what next and also the closing remark.
Okay. First of all, I would like to thank Alma and Maya because they did an amazing job of moderation for both group 1, Maya, and group 2, Alma. So first of all, I would like to applaud for both of them for this full coordination. So this brings us to Asia team. So then I would like to thank our INI team, especially our admin and finance, also the program team who are behind this with the leadership of Margarita. And admin finance, we have Olivia, Hast, and Carmen. You met Carmen, Hast, and Olivia. I will ask you to say hi to, like, you know, in the like in in a video, no, not speaking, just to say hi in a video. So these are our admin and finance team. They will be working very closely with us. Thank you for being here, regardless of our very late evening in your time. So we do have our communication team here who are supporting us technically, and they are working tirelessly to make this happen. So thank you, our communication team. We have Otis and Heavier here, but there are many more behind them. So thank you, communication team. And with this, I would like to thank mostly our participants. You have been amazingly active in this discussion, but I missed some part of it because I had something else to do. But I was present there, but listening you, but not actively interacting with you after my session. So thank you for making early in the morning, being very active in the discussion, and putting your questions for clarification and you know, making the interaction more lively. So, but we also are very, very thankful to our interpreters. We have Mane, who is playing dual role as a participant and also as an interpreter. And we have Nipal ji from Bangladesh and Pranika ji from Nepal. Thank you, all three of you, for making like, you know, making the things easier and localizing what we are talking about. Thank you. So, and lastly, but not the least, with the sisters Ajung and both other sisters from I will say sisterhood. Actually, it was supposed to be opening, but of course, this is opening for our partnership in future. So this is just our beginning. So even if this was at the end of program, but it was opening of our partnership formally with this induction. I thank you, our sisterhood network. So as I mentioned, as we consider this as a beginning, we look forward for our collective journey, strong voices, collective solidarity, and meaningful and effective partnership for making our issue visible, our contribution accounted in the world. We want them to be accounted and changing the lives of our sisters and our communities who are unable to link, yet to link out there in a remote area. And we will empower them, ensure that they are one of us in next meeting, next partnership, next time, more connectedly, more closer, and raising voice together. So, and in this whole journey, we are with you all. We are just in a distance of WhatsApp message, in a distance of messenger, in a distance of email. So please feel free to reach us out. We are with you with our accompaniment and our support whatsoever is needed within the project, within the initiative, within the movement, and beyond. We just need to share our reciprocity with each other, trust with each other. So our journey, our movement building is not an easy path to start with, begin with. Hope our joint initiative will take us towards our collective vision, collective goal, and we will achieve it together. There will be challenges in our movement, in our journey, even implementing this initiative, what we agreed to implement together. So we shall overcome together. Reach us out anytime you feel reaching us out. There will be future opportunities also within this partnership period and also beyond. And we are always like always open to that with open arms. And I think all the partners here present together, this is not our first time. Some of us is second time. For some of us, it's more than like 2, 3, 4 times. This is with INE, but within FIMI, there are much, much more opportunities. And we look forward for our effective partnership. We build our trust and we founded our partnership with this trust we have built so far. So just mentioning about few upcoming events. As you all know, maybe you are following us in our social media, our newsletter, our web page. We are about to have open call. As I mentioned that we have like three types of call, grant making. You are from direct invitation, and we are going to have an open call pretty soon, maybe uh, like early next week. So there will be open call. Please reach out to our sister organization or organization who are led by indigenous women. Encourage them to apply, and if they want some support, please link them with us so that we can support. And also please support them so that we will have greater network to work with each other. So that is the one. Second one, maybe we might not able to invite all of you. We are having M&E training like first week of September. So sorry, first week of February. This is a very pilot event. Hopefully, like we will have couple of you, and if it is successful, we will replicate it and we will improvise it based on the input. So we will see some of you there. Okay, I remember. And as I mentioned, this is the very first time. So we are expecting to have the refresher training or refresher follow-up meeting of what we discussed today. Because for some of you, you have already experienced like what FIMI's new harmonized templates look like. But for some of you, is still like new. So we are expecting to have refresher training. Maybe we might not have all of you, but we will have some of you who very closely work with the project, work with the account and finance. Having said that, I think now already it's time for having our community of practice. We are expecting to have that in 6 months. We had it in last year September, and some of you were part of it, and we look forward for having you in this community of practice. It will be on climate change. If you are interested in climate change or you are working, you are welcome to join. We will announce the event pretty soon. So okay, so these are some of the announcements we are making, and these are the upcoming opportunities. There will be much more. We look forward for your active participation, your active communication. Please do not forget to share the good work you are doing at the field level. Our communication teams are always eager to help us out to amplify our voices. Please share with us your achievements, your pictures, your videos, and we are looking forward to it. Some of you are already sending us. Please keep continuing sending those to us. We are looking forward for them. And also, like any communication you would like to share, please do reach us out. We are always there for supporting each other, and we also expect same from your end. So with this, once again, thank you for making this early in the morning. With this, I thank you all, and so this is like I think this is the time we still said thank you and see you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you, Sushma.